Welcome to R.C. Thornton and Associates, a Phoenix-based CPA firm whose mission is to help their clients achieve financial success. This is part of a series of career development insights for the professional interested in advancing their career. Stay tuned at the end to find out how to contact Chuck. We're here with Chuck Thornton today. Chuck, you're with R.C. Thornton and Associates. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
We're going to talk today about what size firm should a CPA, a professional in that area, work for? So I think the first question I want to ask you is, what would you say is the distinction between a small or a large firm? That's usually the debate. Do I work for a big firm or do I work for a small firm? Let's define those terms first.
Well, I think what's interesting is if you work for a large firm or a small firm, the odds are the work that you're doing, you'll be doing it with a partner and maybe one or two other associates. So whether the firm has 500,000 or has 10 employees, you'll probably be dealing with the same group. Now, from the dynamics point of view, you probably can get the same result in terms of personal interactions. I would say larger firms may have more departmental, they may have services, they may have larger clients, they may have paths that might get you to that client in terms of if you're looking for a job outside public accounting. If you're looking for more broad-based experiences, perhaps you want to become a smaller business owner, you want to become a CPA firm owner yourself, you want to stay in public accounting. The small firm, I think, in my opinion, gives you a better broad-based variety of services that you can do. So it really boils down to is what's your objectives.
Okay, so then what you're saying is there's going to be some common elements, whether it's a big firm or a small firm. What would you look for in terms of those common elements? What would they be?
I think the common elements you're looking for is first of all, do they have the type of clientele? Do they have the type of work that is what you're interested in? Mission can be accomplished either large or small firm in that case. The next question is what is their training programs? How much mentoring are you actually going to get? What's the formality on that? Those are some of the areas I would be looking at. And then from the personal relationship point of view, do you operate better in a large environment? Do you like to be part of a big organization? Or you like to be a little bit of maybe a bigger fish in a small pond, to use that expression? Sure. So from the personality part of it, I think it's part of what size group you want to be part of.
Okay, so then I guess with what you've told us here, is it really relevant as to whether you work for a small or large firm? You know, in the accounting profession, that is perceived to be a real distinction. So is it really relevant as you see it?
Well, I think it's relevant as long as it's meeting your objective. As an example, I did work in a large firm and I spent 2 years auditing cash. Didn't do anything for my career at all, but it certainly solved the audits of the cash. And I had no desire to become an auditor of cash, so that's what was done. I think larger firms are different nowadays. I think they're a little bit more sensitive to giving a variety of experiences. But I would say you really go back to what you're trying to accomplish, and does a large firm or a small firm fit? And the message, the takeaway I would have here is they both have something to offer. Don't dismiss a small firm just because they're not a big firm.
Okay, we've been talking about small firms versus large firms, but what if, as a professional, as a CPA professional, you really don't want to stay in public accounting? What should you do then?
If you don't want to stay in public accounting, I think you really want to make a decision how long you want to stay in public accounting. Public accounting is a good background, a good way to learn a lot of different experiences, especially I would suggest in a small firm. But generally people would say if you're really not going to stay in public accounting, about 5 years is a good mark where you start making your switch, maybe 6 years, maybe 4 years. And then from that, you take the time to find the kind of experiences that you're looking for when you're trying to get out of public accounting. And also too, some firms, if you say, I think it's time for me to do something else, might actually help you doing that. You have to know your firm first before you would say that, of course, right. But you might actually find some people who actually help you in the process.
Well, Chuck, you've had a very long and successful career in public accounting. How did the size of firm that you worked for in your career affect your career?
Well, I did work in the big firm. I worked in the small firms also, both of these. For me, the small firm was better for me, but I would say it's a biased answer because I went on to be in a small firm in terms of basically being in public accounting. So I think that if I was trying to go to work in a company, if I was looking to work for a smaller company, probably a small firm would have been, but if I was looking to branch into a Fortune 500 company and I wanted to work through the audit staff and I wanted to see if I get a position with one of their type of clients, maybe the big firm would have been better. You notice I keep on throughout our discussions.
Yeah.
It depends on what your objectives are, but my big theme here is don't roll out small firms just because they're not big.
So did you when you worked for a small firm, did that help set you up as an entrepreneur? Because you're very much an entrepreneur in addition to being a CPA.
Yes, it did. Even if you weren't going to have a small firm down the road, let's say you want to go in business, you get so many different experiences working for a multitude of small clients who are probably facing what you're going to be facing if you decide to become an entrepreneur down the road.
Chuck, once again,
Okay.
thank you very much for your time. I appreciate
Thank
you coming
you.
down here.
Okay.
If you're interested in contacting Chuck, you can reach him at 602-678-7067, extension 15, or you can reach him also at the website at rcthornton.com.